George Floyd, anonymous hackers re-emerge amid U.S. unrest as the United States deals with widespread civil unrest across dozens of cities. Hacktivist group Anonymous has returned from the shadows. The hacker collective was once a regular fixture in the news, targeting those it accused of injustice with cyber attacks. After years of relative quiet, it appears to have re-emerged in the wake of violent protests in Minneapolis over the death of George Floyd, promising to expose the many crimes of the city's police to the world. However, it's not easy to pin down what, if anything, is genuinely the mysterious group's work. Who are Anonymous? The hacktivist collective has no face, and no leadership. Its tagline is simply, "We are Legion," referring to its allegedly large numbers of individuals. Without any central command structure, anyone can claim to be a part of the group. This also means that members can have wildly different priorities, and there is no single agenda. But generally, they are activists, taking aim at those they accuse of misusing power. They do so in very public ways, such as hijacking websites or forcing them offline. Their symbol is a Guy Fawkes mask, made famous by Alan Moore's graphic novel V for Vendetta, in which an anarchist revolutionary dons the mask to topple a corrupt fascist government. Alan Moore, V for Vendetta author, on Anonymous rise inside the minds of the hacktivists. Violence erupts across U.S. on sixth day of protests. What actions have they taken? Various forms of cyber attack are being attributed to Anonymous in relation to the George Floyd protests. First, the Minneapolis Police Department website was temporarily taken offline over the weekend in a suspected distributed denial of service (DDoS) attack. This is an unsophisticated but effective form of cyber attack that floods a server with data until it can't keep up and stops working, in the same way that shopping websites can go offline when too many people flood it to snap up high-demand products. A database of email addresses and passwords claiming to be hacked from the police department's system is also in circulation, and being linked to Anonymous. However, there is no evidence that the police servers have been hacked, and one researcher, Troy Hunt, says the credentials are likely to have been compiled from older data breaches. A page on the website of a minor United Nations agency has been turned into a memorial for Mr. Floyd, replacing its contents with the message, "Rest in Power, George Floyd," along with an anonymous logo. On Twitter, unverified posts have also gone viral, apparently showing police radios playing music and preventing communication. However, experts suggest it is unlikely to be a hack, and could instead be the result of a stolen piece of hardware being commandeered by protesters on the scene, if the videos are genuine in the first place. Anonymous activists are also circulating years-old accusations against President Trump, taken from documents in a civil court case that was voluntarily dismissed by the accuser before it went to trial. Is this return credible? George Floyd's death has led to what the BBC's New York correspondent Nick Bryant described as the most widespread racial turbulence and civil unrest since the assassination of Martin Luther King in 1968. It is against this backdrop that a Facebook page claiming to be linked to Anonymous released a video about Mr. Floyd's death, alleging a string of other crimes involving Minneapolis police, and threatening to act. The same Facebook page posted similar videos about UFOs and China's plan for world domination in recent weeks, which, like the George Floyd video, feature an electronically disguised voice discussing previously published news stories. But it received much wider attention after the Minneapolis Police Department's website appeared to be knocked offline. Is this the sort of thing Anonymous is known for? The first major anonymous operation to make headlines was against the Church of Scientology in 2008, in which it used DDoS attacks to knock some of the organization's websites offline, along with prank calls and empty fax messages designed to disrupt their communications. In the years that followed, in the aftermath of a global financial crisis, the group acted in support of the Arab Spring protest movements, targeted Sony Entertainment over its attempt to crack down on hacking of the PlayStation 3 console, and supported the Occupy Wall Street protests, among others. They have continued to lend support to similar causes, and staged anti-establishment rallies around the world, but their prominence in mainstream media had diminished in recent years. The revolutionary image and willingness to take on powerful entities, however, appears to be striking a chord during the current crisis in the United States. After several years on the sidelines, Anonymous, the world's most popular hacktivist, is back. They announced their return with a bang by releasing dirt on several global figures, entertainers, and popular families. Over the weekend, Donald Trump would be wondering who he offended, as just only days after Twitter fact-checked and labeled his tweets for glorifying violence, Anonymous came for him, linking him with Jeffrey Epstein child trafficking network. WHOOR. What is Anonymous? Wikipedia describes Anonymous as a decentralized international hacktivist collective movement that is widely known for its various cyber attacks against several governments, government institutions, and government agencies, corporations, and the Church of Scientology. Wikipedia further added that Anonymous originated in 2003 on the imageboard 4chan, representing the concept of many online and offline community users simultaneously existing as an anarchic, digitized global brain. Anonymous has launched several deadly cyber attacks over the years. In 2010, Anonymous launched several denial-of-service attacks on the Visa, MasterCard, and PayPal companies for cutting off their services to WikiLeaks. It cost PayPal £3.5 million to repair the damage caused by the DOS attack. In the same year, websites of the government of Zimbabwe were targeted due to censorship of the WikiLeaks documents. 2012 and 2013 clamped down. The height of the popularity of Anonymous was when the group was named among the world's 100 most influential people, 2012. Barton Gellman, a contributing editor-at-large for Time, as at 2012 wrote, united, if at all, by a taste for shock humor and disdain for authority, this leaderless internet hive brain is plundering and playing in the electronic networks of an ever-shifting enemies list: Arab dictatorship, the Vatican, banking and entertainment firms, the FBI and CIA, the security firm Stratfor, and even San Francisco's BART transport system. Did Anonymous fix the Time 100 poll? Depends who you think is smarter, a global collective of highly skilled hackers or the Time IT department, says one fellow traveler, anonymously. Anonymous earned its place on the list, one way or the other. Arguably after this, it went on a downward spiral as dozens of people were arrested for involvement in anonymous cyber attacks in countries including the US, UK, Australia, the Netherlands, Spain, India, and Turkey. The anonymity of Anonymous evaporated into thin air as several members were arrested and subsequently convicted. This appeared to have paid off, from the perspective of British police. Across the world, de-ducers have been convicted of attacks throughout the year. In the UK, the most significant were those of Christopher Weatherhead, Peter Gibson, Ashley Rhodes, and Jake Burkle, who hit PayPal, MasterCard, Visa, and the British recorded music industry, allegedly causing millions of pounds of damage. 2020, Anonymous is back and are ready to release dirt. Undoubtedly, 2020 will down in history as one of the most eventful year we ever experienced. Amidst the world battling coronavirus, Anonymous decided to return because it felt government won't prosecute the alleged killers of George Floyd. Remember, it is not only in the US police are killing citizens indiscriminately. In Lagos, Nigeria, Tina Ezekwe, a 16-year-old girl, was shot dead at a Yana Oworo area of Lagos. How Anonymous announced their return. Anonymous came back in full throttle. They went for the biggest fish in ocean: Donald Trump, the President of the United States of America. Donald Trump has been linked with Jeffrey Epstein child trafficking network. Also named were Naomi Campbell, Ivanka Trump, Prince Andrew, Phil Collins, and Tony Blair. Their names were contained in a file uploaded through their social networks under the name of The Little Black Book of Jeffrey Epstein, and in it they exposed all the people who attended parties organized by Jeffrey Epstein, where it is said that he recruited the children. In a direct message to Donald Trump, Anonymous alleged that he had a record on organized crime, a reason given for why he is being blackmailed by Russia, a country that has all the necessary evidence against him. For the British royal family, Anonymous claimed that they murdered Princess Diana. To what end? Anonymous is back and they have set the internet afire and exposed some of the world's best-kept secret. They know what they want to achieve, but to what end? Anyways, Anonymous is back and they would continue spilling like a river that has just burst its banks. Hopefully, they won't disappear like they did in between 2012 and 2013.